morning to you. Good evening to you. Where are you, Sam? Put the champagne down and start. Well, I'm here now, my friend. Has this not started on Has this started on YouTube properly? 1 second. 1 second there. Oh no. What's going on there? Ah, this hasn't started properly. 1 second there. Oh, as if it's gone wrong on this one. As if it's gone wrong on this one. Oh, no, I think we're live there. No, we're live now, randomly. Okay, I apologize to everyone watching on YouTube. I have no idea what was going on there. You've missed the intro. Let me get back into it and say, look, good evening, everybody. Now watching on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. This is the big one. The bids are in. I'm going to run through all the breaking news as it happens, and it will be happening over this next 30 minutes. So good evening to everybody. That's the worst introduction I've ever seen. I don't know what was going on there, but who's watching? We've got Jay watching. We've got Wazza. We've got Mallory. We've got Andrew Wright. Born Rich. That's nice to be born rich. Dan McGann. There's going to be lots of different names and faces around here because we don't normally go live in the evening, but we're here tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to dive straight into the article that's just been, well, this wasn't just released. This was released earlier from the Financial Times. We're going to cover the Telegraph, the Guardian, the Financial Times, the Athletic, the BBC. I'm going to cover all of it for you so you don't have to. So make sure you join in, get involved in the comments, and I'll try and rattle through it. This was the story that came out around about exactly 5 o'clock today from the Financial Times, that Jim Ratcliffe was going to be submitting an improved Manchester United bid above £5 billion. British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe is set to submit a revised offer of more than £5 billion, including debt. Now, that's the interesting part there, right? Because if I'm reading that correctly, that would mean that the Jim Ratcliffe and the INEOS bid is £5 billion, including that debt, which we know sits around 680 million. So if that includes that, then it means that the money that's actually going to be going in the Glazers' pocket is around about 4.3 billion. Interesting. Something worth noting. The increased bid comes as Ratcliffe, the founder of INEOS Chemicals Empire, goes up against Sheikh Jassim for the takeover of the most successful English Premier League football club. And this has just been released from The Guardian here. The Manchester United takeover battle intensifies as increased bids are made. Let's run through this article here. The battle to take over Manchester United has intensified after INEOS owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Qatari banker Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani both submitted improved bids shortly before Wednesday's 9 p.m. deadline. Now, some of you might be saying, why have they waited here until like the end of the deadline? It's a tactical thing, isn't it? If the deadline's 9, it's like you're going to have I don't know why I'm going to try and compare it to this, but it's like if you've got a deadline at university for an essay, you're just going to give it in just before the deadline. Use all the available minutes. Anybody who submitted their bid 9 hours ago would have given potentially the rival the opportunity to see what that bid was and maybe to tweak their bid accordingly. There's a super chat there that's just been sent in. Let me read this out. Jibak, how you doing, buddy? You're saying, imagine if INEOS ends up buying United. JBJ gets pissed at losing out and buys INEOS from Sir Jim. Shouts out to Ant for the idea in the chat. I'll tell you what happened tonight. Yeah, I'm not. First of all, I'm not laughing at this, but this is a little bit of breaking news that happened earlier. There was an explosion at work. So I covered the story yesterday, day before, of INEOS and their investment in oil fracking in Texas. This is an explosion that happened earlier. I believe there was one person who went to hospital and they're okay, which is good news. But yeah, a bit strange. Oh, no, I don't want that. Give me the noise. I don't want to hear sirens. Go away. Go away. Thank you. That happened earlier, a bit random. Let's go back to the Guardian here and see what they're saying, all right? There's probably more inside this article. Man, why do I keep getting ill? It's getting on my nerves. I just want to get my voice back. I had it back for like 4 days, and then it's gone again. Fuck's sake. While both sides were keeping the size of their offers close to their chests and not commenting publicly due to a strict non-disclosure agreement all parties have had to sign, it is widely expected they will top the highest first-round bid, which was believed to be approximately 4.5 bill. However, despite frenzied speculation in recent days, some well-placed sources have cautioned that the bids may still fall short of the Glazers' desired asking price of between 5 and 6 bill. Who's writing this article in The Guardian? Sean Ingle. How you doing, Sean? Not really been involved in this conversation thus far. Let me see what else is coming out here. This is, you can let me know what you're thinking about this in the comments below. This is properly live. It's going to be breaking as we're on here. Let me go over here and see what's going on. Skyfox, how you doing, dude? Nice to see you there, man. Oh, you just gifted 1 second there. What's going on here? Oh man, you just gifted 10 memberships. I gifted 10 memberships twice. What a dude. Skyfox. That was a bit loud. That was a bit aggressive. Sorry about that. Sorry if that rang through your ears. Mate, thank you so much. Somebody gifted 1 membership as well there. Let me quickly catch your name. I didn't quite see that there. That was Paddy. Thank you very much, dude. Paddy McCartan, you gifted 1 membership as well. And David Cooks, you were the lucky man there. What's your take on this, peeps? Because we didn't know how high the Jim Ratcliffe bid was going to go, did we? It looks like it's north of 5 billion. Now, I think the interesting part, and that's what I'm sort of waiting for whilst we're live on this stream here. So it's 20 minutes now until the deadline goes through and it's passed. I don't know whether we're going to get, according to The Guardian there, they've signed the NDAs, so they're not going to come out with how much the bid is. Ash, you're saying, I find it funny they talk about NDAs, then say about their sources. Nobody knows anything. That's quite funny. Ryan Thomas, you're saying first time on. How you doing, buddy? Do you think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would include borrowing money himself to purchase? We know full well that the INEOS bid does involve borrowing. They've already got an agreement in place with JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs for the Manchester United debt. And it's something that a lot of fans are concerned about, and I'm concerned about as well. I've always said it. But that bid there, according to the Financial Times, it says more than 5 billion. We don't know how much more. Is that going to be 10 million more? Is that going to be 100 million more? Half a billion more? No one knows. So it's still speculation around this. But the Glazers have pretty much got what they want here, right? The Glazers have got themselves a bidding war. And I'll be very, very surprised. This is my personal opinion here. This is nothing informed. I've never tried to suggest I'm in the know, because I'm not. I just interpret news just like you do. But I'd be very surprised at this point if it doesn't go to a third round of bidding. Because we're at this stage now. If I can quickly give you 1 minute here. There's 3 potential options really that could happen at this stage. Number 1, the Glazers just walk away and go, never mind, we weren't selling. Highly unlikely. Very, very unlikely. Number 2, there's a third round of bidding, which I actually think is probably the biggest possibility at this point. And number 3, the Glazers choose a preferred bidder, whether that would be JBJ and the Qatari bid or Jim Ratcliffe and the INEOS bid, and they go to a period of exclusivity where they've chosen their bidder, and therefore we know full well who the Glazers want to sell to. That was kind of what we were hoping to get at this point, right? Wasn't it? It certainly was what I wanted to see happen. But the Glazers are going to get their bidding war. And I think there's going to be a third bidding round now. You can let me know what you think in the comments below about that. I'm going to head down here. Grant, you sent a super sticker. All right. Thank you very much, dude. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure it's I'm sure they're cracking. Cheers, dude. I appreciate that, Matt. Matt, nice to see you, dude. Big up to you, mate. I need more than meds. I don't get where this is coming from. I'm eating well. I'm sleeping well. I'm exercising. Why am I getting ill? Lurgy is going round. Blaine, you're saying, Sam, you're going to all give us all COVID. I don't know what I keep giving myself. Seriously. Who's down here in the comments? Let's have a quick look. Oh, man, there's loads. There's so many of you down here. I tell you what, it's pretty cool to be doing an evening stream with you together. I don't normally get to do these. I know so many of you want me to do these, but I'll be honest, I'll be working 24/7 if I start streaming in the evening. Wow, Vicky. How you doing, Vicky? You've gifted 10 memberships. What a legend. Boo-doo-boo-boo-boo. I'm going to be more gentle with the gong. Gongshi's a bit sensitive. Man, garlic bread, man, as well. Woohoo! It's almost like everyone's in a good mood. I'll tell you what, I'm in a good mood. I'm going to get known as like the gong man now. Sean, you're saying it's the best community on any platform. I think it is, but I'm a little bit biased. I'll be completely honest. Couple of super chats here, and then I want to read your comments on Gungshi there. You're 445. Yes, my man. Yes, my man. We're definitely going to get a custom emoji made for you. I'll be speaking about that in the live show tomorrow. There's a couple of super chats there. Let me not miss these. And then I'll head down to the comments and see what else you're saying. 1 second there. One more here. Drawn, how you doing, buddy? You're saying that the Glazers are so greedy. They're pushing for that 6 billion. Nervous they will stay until it's all confirmed. Hopefully one of these bids will be enough. My personal, as I said, personal point of view on this is that I don't think this is the end of the bidding. I think there'll be a third round of bidding. That we don't know that yet, right? It may well be a case that it is. But given that the Glazers have got INEOS to go north of 5 billion, and they've got the Qataris, and they both want Manchester United. And look, this is Simon Stone from the BBC saying this, that Sheikh Jassim remains committed to buying that 100% of Manchester United. That in itself is a separate conversation, which I'm actually going to be having with the same, is it Grant? I think his name's Grant, the same lawyer that I spoke to out from America, in understanding, okay, so the Class B shares, to put it in simple terms, the Glazers own 69% of Manchester United. So if Sheikh Jassim wants to buy 100% of the club, he has to buy that other 31%, which are the Class A shares, the shares on the New York Stock Exchange. How do you do that? How can he force that issue? Because I always look at that, and when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he didn't actually want to buy Twitter in the end, but when he bought Twitter, he bought 100% of it. Twitter became a private company. It left the New York Stock Exchange. He bought all of it. How does Sheikh Jassim do that? I'm going to be doing that in an interview at some point soon. Who's over here in the comments? Let's have a look. Michael, you're saying anticipating any late surprise bids? I think if there is a late surprise bid, I don't personally know. Not a full takeover bid anyway. Any surprises at this point, I don't think will be good surprises. That's my take on it. Any surprise at this point is going to be something that we don't want to happen, that we don't want to see. Like Elliott Management coming in and propping up INEOS. We've heard that quite a few times. Let me see if anything else is being said over here. Oh, that's cool, fine. Nothing at this moment in time. No. We go back over here. Robert, you're saying you got your champagne on ice, waiting for the news to pop the cork. I need to get champagne on ice. Get a bad boy in the fridge. What have I got in the fridge? I've got 2 cans of Strombo. It's not really worth it. Pink Prosecco. Nah, it's not really going to cut it either. I'm going to have to get some champagne. Mukisa, you're saying you enjoy the stream. Thank you very much, dude. Nice to have you on board. I just don't want to be ill anymore. Stop it. Vicky, you're saying, how can the Glazers not take an offer now? Also, have you watched Ted Lasso? I actually haven't. I don't know whether I've been avoiding it or not. But the 3rd season, I've heard quite a lot of good reviews about the 3rd season. So maybe I need to. In the question there about how can the Glazers not take an offer is because the Glazers know that they've got this. Let me pull this up here, right? This is such a dream situation for the Glazers, isn't it? Right? And it pisses me off that they always get that. They're getting what they want here. Because they've got 2 bids that are now north of 5 billion, and they both want Manchester United. INEOS clearly must, you know everything that we've been reading about the bids. Sorry. Everything we've been reading about the bids has put Sheikh Jassim as the favorite. The overwhelming majority. He's very confident of winning the bid. They're favorites to buy Manchester United. Not really heard too much of that from the INEOS point of view, have you? But clearly INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe feel that they have a bid that's compelling enough to win this race. So maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe there's a certain structure to that deal that we don't quite know yet. But clearly, INEOS are confident of that. Let me go down here and see what you're saying in the comments. Mr. C, I don't see the point of fans choosing one side or another. I understand skepticism, but both have issues. We can have preferences, but at the end of the day, a new owner and the Glazers out is a win. Well, that's a comment I really, really agree with. I can't choose a side because they've both got pros and they both have cons. I've said it back when the idea of Jim Ratcliffe first came around, right? I called him the Disney new owner, and I kind of stood by that. But as it's transpired and the structure of the deal, there's certain red flags that I don't like, and there's certain cons that I have personally. And of course, with the Qatari situation, if you're going to scrutinize the World Cup to the level that we did because of the human rights issues, you can't just pretend that this isn't linked to that. I know that there's going to be a massive degree of separation between the Qatari state, PSG, QIA. Geez, do you remember that? All those videos we were doing about QIA, PSG, QSI, KSI, every single acronym. And it got really, really confusing. Let me see what you're saying down in the comments. Aaron, you're saying, Sam, I get your concern on the INEOS debt funding. The Glazers have made debt a dirty word. In reality, it's not going to cause any problems for INEOS, regardless. $64 billion business that's recession-proof. Wouldn't say it's recession. Well, I suppose you could argue that about the oil industry, but my concern over the debt financing, Aaron, and anybody else who's asking, it's not just about the numbers. It's about what they mean. If INEOS, if they get financing from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, which they will, to buy out the debt of Manchester United, get that big lump sum debt and put it onto INEOS, that's going to be in the region of 680 million, thereabouts. Then what happens when you buy a new stadium? Well, that 600-700 million debt is going to go to around about 2 billion, probably a little bit more. You're going to be looking at a debt in the region, the debt of buying the club, the debt from clearing Manchester United's debt, and the debt from financing a new stadium, a new Carrington. You're going to be looking at a total debt of in the region of 2 to 2.5 billion. You're saying that's not going to have an impact? You're saying that won't affect maybe thought processes and decisions? I think it will. Now, I might be wrong in that. And I tell you what, with everything that's happened in the loan market over these last couple of years, if anybody's got a mortgage in the UK, my mortgage is up in, what is it, July? I'm screwed. I signed a 2-year fix a couple of years ago, thinking it was all hunky-dory, and I'm going to get slapped when I've got to renew my mortgage in July. There's nothing I can do about it because the market is crazy. Interest rates are through the roof. Inflation is higher than ever. It's not a good loan. It's not a good lending market. It really isn't. It's quite dangerous. What was that comment there? Fatty saying, Sam, SJR said he was confident about buying Chelsea. That Chelsea bid, sorry, none of it made sense because I'm pretty sure Jim Ratcliffe came in with the bid when the Clear Lake Capital Group, Todd Bowley, was already in the period of exclusivity, I think. Anyway, it was a really, really late bid, and everybody looked at it and went, there's no chance that's going to go through. And lo and behold, it didn't go through. It was a bit weird, that one. Boz, you're saying 1.52 bill stadium. I wasn't thinking it'll be that much. If we're looking grand total here, we're looking at stadium, all the developments around about that, and also Carrington too. Both of those combined, you're going to be looking in the region of 1.5 billion, thereabouts. But we don't know the total cost of it because we don't know what the scope of it is yet. Is it a redevelopment? Is it a brand new stadium? Is it a refurbishment? We just don't know. It's really annoying having a sore throat when your main part of your job is speaking on camera. I've really got to stop getting ill. Jonesy, you're saying live at 9 p.m. What have I missed? You've missed quite a bit. Let me see what else is going on. See if any more breaking news is coming down here. Nothing at this moment in time. I was hoping that we were going to get a bit more clarity on the actual size of the offers. That's kind of what I wanted to see tonight. I wanted to know about exact numbers. Maybe we won't know about those exact numbers. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the NDAs have been signed. Francisco saying you didn't secure a 30-year fixed rate in your mortgage. Can you do that? 30 years. Jeez, that'll be good. Danny, wow, look at that for a super chat, man. Thank you very much. You're saying let's put to rest this BS about full ownership. Anyone who buys the Glazers shares has to buy out the full club. If you buy shares equaling more than 30% of voting rights, you are mandated to buy out minority shareholders. Now, that's what I want to speak to Grant about for America, to understand that system. Because surely, as you say there, surely there's going to be an obligation that those shares have to be sold back in. And remember, I think it was Aerial Investments? Let me quickly Google this. I think it was Aerial Investments selling off their Man United shares. Where is it here? There you go. I remember this. Let me pull this one up. Man United stakeholder Aerial unloads shares as... well, great. Chicago-based Aerial Investments sold nearly 3 million shares, or 26% of its stake. So they still hold 9 million shares. Aerial Investments. So that's a big player. You're talking about how if Sheikh Jassim's got to go and buy the other 31%, Aerial Investment, they must have a big part of that. A big part of that. What else is going on here? It's different, these sorts of shows, when it's properly live and things are happening. You can let me know. I'll answer as many questions as possible. If you've got any concerns, let's run through this article. I haven't covered this yet. This is Tom Morgan, and this is James Ducker from the Telegraph saying Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going head-to-head with the Qataris for Manchester United. So Jim Ratcliffe is going head-to-head with the Qatari bid in the battle for Manchester United after both parties finalised improved bids expected to top 5 billion. 5 billion, man. I'm going to presume, again, big word here, presumption, not basing this on a fact. I'm going to presume that both of those bids include the debt at that point. If it's 5 billion thereabouts and the debt is separate in the Qatari bid, well then you're just going to get a bit of a clear winner. Right, there we go. All right, yes, we go. This is why we're live and direct, people. We've got some information here. Let's get this up for you here. Right, Ben Jacobs. I'll be getting you on here, so at some point. Let me pull all this up for you. We've got Ben Jacobs. We've got Matt Lawton from the Times. We've got Mike Keegan. Let's bring all this up here. Yeah, it's nice to do this live with everybody. If you're having a good time, make sure you drop a like on the video. And I'm guessing there's going to be plenty of you that don't actually normally join in these streams because I normally don't go live in the evening, do I? But yeah, make sure you do subscribe, become part of the community. We'd love to have you on board. Let's go and let's cover it here because we have confirmation here completely from Mike Keegan. The second Qatar-based bid for Manchester United is in. I understand that the Sheikh Jassim remains confident and fully engaged. The group believes their project is best for the club, the fans, and the community. Now it is over to the Glazers. This may be a long week. Matt Lawton from the Times confirming the same thing, that the Qatari bid is indeed in, and Ben Jacobs is saying this. What's he saying? We got a nice thread. Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have now officially sent improved second bids. If either is successful, we'll see a record sale for a sports club. Sources familiar with Sheikh Jassim's bid describe the latest offer as highly competitive, but again reiterate they have not bid recklessly. The offer remains all or nothing, with no interest in minority or laddered investment if unsuccessful. 9-2 Foundation are currently considering more football-focused appointments in case successful. Sheikh Jassim is also expected in London if the group advances. That's an interesting one. He is a frequent visitor anyway, but did not attend the presentation in Manchester last week. Ratcliffe attended. The exact amount of the new bids is a closely guarded secret due to NDAs. No guarantees the Glazers' valuation has been met, but insiders say both groups feel their offers will be very seriously considered. So it doesn't look like we're going to find out how much these bids are, but the confirmation is 100% there. Sheikh Jassim and that second bid is in. We've had confirmation here from everybody else, really. Jim Ratcliffe, this is the Financial Times earlier. That second bid from INEOS is going to be north of 5 billion. And we're going to have to presume here that the Qatari bid is the same as well. What do you think about that in the comments? You let me know. I'll go and read a few of your things out. There's a super chat there from Danny saying the Glazer shares are Class B, 10 times the voting rights of Class A shares. Class A are essentially worthless in terms of a takeover. They're not, because they're 31% of owning the club. Yes, you're completely correct in terms of the voting structure. Class A shares have absolutely nothing. But in terms of owning 100% of Manchester United, that 31% is what Sheikh Jassim will want. And I wouldn't say it's complicated, but I need to understand that full process of how we can get to that 100%. Fatty, you're saying I prefer Qatar, but I don't mind SGR. I just want the Glazers out. Let me see what else you're saying down here. Therese, you're saying looks like the champagne will stay on ice as there is likely to be a third round. My spidey senses are saying that there's going to be a third round. I wish there wasn't. But if you were the Glazers and you were at this point and you had two bids north of 5 billion, you probably would. I don't really know. Scott, you're saying you were never going to find out the amounts that are bid. Well, you were kind of hoping so. But if it's down in the NDAs, I suppose not. And you're saying can't help but feel the Qataris are focused on the football whilst SJR is focused on the business. Well, and in complete opposite to that, if you're looking at how the two bids and the delegations went, the Qatari delegation was purely about the business side of things, and the INEOS bid was purely about the football side of things. So it's actually complete opposite in terms of the meetings they had at Manchester United. A super chat here from Onyi. How you doing, buddy? You're saying, what do you think the repercussions will be regardless of the owner in the future? I don't know what you mean with that question, dude. Repercussions of what? Try and send another comment there, and I'll read that one out. I appreciate your super chat, dude. Charlie, you think there's definitely going to be a third round? Sigs, that's a good comment. It's like an episode of Lost. It's all a dream. It's all a dream. Wake up. Nothing happened. Worst ending ever. Spoiler alert. Just don't waste your time. Ricky is saying, is there a chance of fourth or fifth rounds? I mean, I suppose you could. I suppose there could be. I don't really know. I think there were 3 rounds. Was there 2 rounds? There was 2 or 3 rounds with the Chelsea takeover with Rain Group. Now, obviously, because Roman Abramovich was being put under pressure by the UK government, that accelerated things a bit faster. But there could technically be 3, 4, 5, 6. This is as many rounds as the Glazers want to do before they think that they're going to piss off everybody. Nicholas, you're saying 6 bill for only 61%. Wow. I mean, nothing. No one's got please, can the Glazers just go? We are closer than we have ever been. We're here. We are sitting here live on the 22nd of March in the evening, talking about 2 bids north of 5 billion going in for Manchester United from the Qatari Sheikh Jassim bid and Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS bid. This is what we've been wanting for so long. New owners, owners with ambition, owners who genuinely want Manchester United to get back to the very top. I wish I could come here with the great news that this is going to be a period of exclusivity. We can look at who we're going towards, but the reality is this probably is going to drag on for a little bit more. Simon Stone also saying the same thing. Fabrizio Romano, Sheikh Jassim, well, everyone's coming here. Sky News, Rob Harris from Sky News, he submitted a new and improved bid. Simon Stone from the BBC saying the bid's been submitted, believes it is the best one for the club. That must be what the PR team is saying. Fabrizio, Sheikh Jassim has submitted his new bid. I don't know. What do you think? All right, I'll leave it down here in the comments. What do you think happens now? What's your spidey senses saying? Because if we rewind a week, the delegation hadn't even been to Old Trafford yet. So we went from the Qatari delegation being there on Thursday, Jim Ratcliffe being there on Friday, and all of a sudden the following Wednesday, the second bids are in. What you saying? What happens next? What happens next? Let's have a look there. Right. Wait. 1 second here. Oh yeah, nice. The Daily Mail website is so much better when you ban all their cookies. So much better. Let's read through this. This is from Mike Keegan, just been published now. Man United will receive improved world record bids from Qatar, or have received those two, but there are still concerns the Glazers may not sell as they value the club at 6 bill. Let me see what you're saying. Sigmund, do you think it's going to be round 3 next week? Sale completed by mid-April. What else you say down there? And you're saying the Glazers refuse both bids as it's too low. I mean, it would just be madness. I know technically, if we're taking the Glazers at their word, which is something you never ever should do because they always lie. But if we take it at their word and the idea that they want 6 billion and they've always valued Manchester United at 6 billion, then these bids will not be enough. Let's see what Mike Keegan is saying. Improved bids were made for Manchester United, but there remains concerns that the Glazer family may not sell. As expected, offers around 5 billion dropped ahead of the deadline set by the US bank handling the process. Both groups, however, believe they are the only parties interested in buying the club rather than taking a partial stake, which is also on the table. So at this moment in time, if there has been another bid, no one knows about it. If there's this random third full takeover bid, no one knows about it. Rob on Facebook, you're saying, I think SJR is at or very near his limit. So if the Qataris have put in a bigger bid, it might be over to all intents. I think that's a fair comment there. I think a lot of people would probably say that around the Jim Ratcliffe bid. I've completely forgotten what I was saying there. What was I saying? Yeah. Sometimes you lose your mind. I lost my mind there completely. Right, let's go through this. I'm so annoyed that I'm ill. Both groups, however, that perceived lack of competition from elsewhere will do little to drive up the price to a level at which the Glazers will be prepared to let the Premier League giants go. And this is this concept here, right? And actually this go away, website, go away. Let me just why? I can't highlight a word. Right. This concept here of the Glazers waiting for a price that they're prepared to let Manchester United go at is a genuinely hilarious concept because it makes it sound like they're in a position of power. Like they hold all the cards. They do not. Manchester United have lost more than 200 million over the last 3 years. Our accounts are only going to get worse. We've pretty much maxed our credit card. We can't get any more loans from the banks. They can't get anybody to buy out their siblings. They can't get investment anywhere else. What do you mean prepared? They don't have any other choice. And again, this is my opinion here. But this concept that they're sitting on this golden throne that's perfect and there's nothing wrong with it. Their business strategy at Manchester United to bleed the club dry, use the legacy value, they've squeezed everything out. There is no more legacy value. They got rid of all of it. So this idea that they could genuinely turn down multiple 5 billion plus offers, to me, is really quite hilarious. Because they can't. They cannot do that. I mean, they can. But it would be madness. Anya, you said, do you think the new owners would have any limitations put on them? Or what would happen if they were to sell the future? Do you have any thoughts? What new owners, in terms of limitations put on them by who? What, the UK government or anything else like that? Not really. What would happen if they sell in the future? Well, I mean, sod knows. It took 18 years to get rid of the Glazers. Who knows how long it's going to be before we have a new set of owners. Let's just get excited about what we've got coming here. Jason Bell with a comment I think we can all agree with, saying, I really can't wait for this all to be over. I can't wait to have that party. I can't wait for the jelly and ice cream to come out for when the Glazers have finally sold Manchester United. When it's the point where we can talk about that officially, that the Glazers aren't owners of our club anymore, that is going to be a bender. That is going to be a bender. Tobias, you're saying it's a great big poker game, isn't it, Sam? I told you this is dreamland. Maybe not dreamland. I think the Glazers probably expected a bidding frenzy for Manchester United. I think they expected like so many different bidders to come in. Oh, great. Look, we can just sit back and just watch all these people put in bids and it will sell for like 6, 7, 8 billion. Great. That's not happened. There's only 2 formal full takeover offers. Therese, you're asking whether we booked Barry yet. Not booked Barry yet. I need to go on it. How do you book Barry? Is he on one of those things where you can like pay to get a celebrity to send you a video for 30 seconds? I might have to get in there. Might have to get him on that. Sibu, you're saying we'll celebrate a few weeks from now. I don't know when we'll celebrate, but when we do, it's going to be a party. Matt, I'll tell you what, there is genuinely going to be a parade in Manchester. That's going to be cracking. I'm definitely going out there for a mad weekend there. All of you are questioning jelly and ice cream. You need to go and Google jelly and ice cream and Glazers, and I think you might understand it a little bit more. What else are we saying down there? M&S, great shop. This is going to be a great month. It is. It is. When they finally leave, man. When they finally leave. And we've got confirmation that the second bids have gone in. Let me see if anything else is happening here. Okay, that's an interesting one. There's a bit of a date on this. I mean, in your opinion, right, do you think this has been moving fast or slowly? Because if you remember, the first statement came out from the Glazers when they were talking about, what was it, strategic investments, whatever it was called. That was back in November, and it's March now. So it kind of went slow for a while, but over these last, what, like six weeks or so, it feels like it's moving really quite fast. Remember, we're talking about the sale of Manchester United here. We're talking about the sale of one of the biggest club brands in the world. Still, we've been crap for so long, and we are still top 3 in the world. Real Madrid, Barcelona, United, 1, 2, 3. And we haven't won the league in 10 years. And we haven't won the Champions League in 15 years. And we're still 3rd. Imagine what could happen if that's what we need with new owners. Cedric, you mentioned in there the sale of, the impending sale of Washington Commanders. That cracks me up because I think they're going to be going for a world record bid that will blow this record bid out of the water. So even if the Glazers do sell Manchester United for a world record bid, it won't be a world record for that long. And that makes me laugh. Small victories, small victories. But Mike Keegan here saying that the Rain Group's going to be getting back in touch with Sheikh Jassim and the Qatari bid and with Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS in the next 7 days. So by the end of March, we thought by the end of March that the second bids had gone in. However, we're here on the 22nd of March and the bids are in. And by the end of March, they would have already looked at them, analysed them and gone back. Would they be asking for more? I think we all kind of agree that a third round of bidding feels a bit inevitable. It feels inevitable at this point. I'd be surprised more than anything if there wasn't a third round. Fred, you're saying if 4 billion isn't enough, 5.5 billion won't be enough. Round 4 and 5 incoming. They are greedy. I mean, the Glazers, they've got a little bit of power in negotiations in the idea that they've got 2 bids of 5 billion. And they've probably got the confidence that they can play them off against each other at this point. But that only goes so far, right? Because if they keep pushing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is probably the most likely to walk away from it first at that point if they're just trying to squeeze more money out of it. But the Glazers, it is a big game of poker. Whoever said that comment there is exactly what it is. It's like, how far do you push? How greedy do you get? How greedy it's like, I don't know, it's like when you got an acca and you got the cash out and you're there in the 70th minute, you're like, that's a really good cash out. If I wait like another 5 minutes though, could probably get another, I don't know, another 30, 40 quid. It's a risk. You might get it, but it might not. And that's basically what the Glazers, that's what the Glazers are doing now. They're waiting on their acca. I don't know what they're doing. Nick, thank you very much for the super chat, dude. What are you saying, sir? Nice to see you here. Haven't seen you in the live streams recently. A massive Old Trafford revamp. Carrington needs huge upgrades, expansion. We need a small stadium for youth, women's team, investment in the first team on top of 600 mil debt and the 6 bill asking price. When this is all said and done, and we can close the book on the chapter of the Glazer ownership of Manchester United, it will be used as a case study of all the wrong things. My dad, when he was, big up dad if you're watching, my dad, when he was younger, had a really bad motorcycle accident, busted both of his knees. I think he slid on black ice, went in, got knee surgery, and his knees were never the same his whole life. And then he went and had his knee replacement done recently, and the surgeon was like, well, your knee was so bad that we're now going to use that as an example of how not to do the surgery. That's what the Glazers ownership of Manchester United is. It's like this concept of fit and proper owner tests and all that jazz. It's like, have you not seen what you allowed? You allowed these fucks to come into Manchester United, to the biggest club in English football, and decimate it from the inside out. You allowed that to happen. You enabled it. We'll never we'll recover from this, but it's been a damaging 10 years. A damaging 10 years for Manchester United. And it all comes from the Glazers. You remember how many times we've had to sort of fight this and argue this against other? I got so bored of having the arguments with fans. Oh, what you arguing about the Glazers for? Look how much money you're spending. It was a boring conversation by that point. Dave Waller, you're saying, do you genuinely think that the Glazers are just spinning this out and then decide in the end to keep the club? Nah, man. What do they think? Just think about it. Like, take a step back. What do the Glazers gain from that? Because of they're not they're like a red flag for lenders now. What collateral have they got to get a 2 billion? What, they're going to try and put that on the club? Could they legally do that? I don't know what standpoint Manchester United would have about that. I have no idea about that. But if they could have got the investment, they would have got the investment. We wouldn't be at this point if the Glazers had a way out where they retained ownership and got investment. They already tried to do that. They already tried to buy out their siblings. That's how bad they are. My God. Jaycon, thank you very much for your super chat, dude. Let me know where you're watching from. Just if you haven't put anything down there, so just do a normal comment. I'll try and spot your name down there. 54 Dunk, you're saying any other business would have gone into administration, but these are horrible facts. Are going to walk away from this billionaires. It sucks that, doesn't it? They bought our club with about 200 to 250 million of their own cash and a 550 million loan. The loan now is more than it was when they bought the club 17 years ago. And that is the most gut-wrenching stat. Over $1 billion has left the club on interest payments on that loan, which has never gone down. It's still the exact same. Because they don't have any intent. They never had any intention of paying that debt off. Because it wasn't their money. They didn't care about it. Oh, man. What else are we saying down here in the comments? Jacob is saying, sorry, sent my first super chat without text. There you go. Please, for the love of God, get this negative thought out of my head. The Glazers don't stay. Dublin here, big man. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining in. Look, until they do fully leave, right, we're all going to have that fear. I'm going to try and allay those fears in saying that from pretty much every perspective now, business perspective, a financial perspective, a logic, the markets, the way that it's all going, everything points towards the Glazers selling. They cannot remain as Manchester United owners anymore and expect the value to increase without investment. It's impossible. If Manchester United do not invest the money in the infrastructure now, the value of our football club will never rise again. It is at its peak. And they don't have the money for that. They simply put, do not have the money for that. The Qataris do. Well, Jim Ratcliffe, they're going to finance it. But technically, Jim Ratcliffe does as well. And the INEOS bid. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing it. So I know you've got those fears. I would be, look, I can't say that it's an impossibility that the Glazers stay, because it could technically happen, right? But it does not make any sense. I would be so surprised if that was the outcome of this. I really, really would be. Of all the potential outcomes, the Glazers staying would be the biggest of surprises. Let me see what else is being said down here. Sorry if I'm all snotty on the camera. Apologize about that. You probably heard that through the mic. James, I haven't got a checkbook. What is this, 1994? Who has checkbooks? Does anybody still have a checkbook? Is that a thing? I don't know. Might be. Bully, you're saying, Sam, you're going to consider doing more night lives? Probably not. I enjoy my evenings. I do a lot of work during the day. A lot. So probably not going to be doing the evening ones. But maybe on occasions. Maybe special occasions. Anybody who's got, if you've got any questions around the state of Manchester United, fire them in the comments. Anybody who's new, there's going to be lots of new faces here. Please consider subscribing to United People's TV. It's interactive. I do answer as many comments as I possibly can. I don't just dismiss opinions I don't like. I try to sort of pick through them and talk about them with you. Sometimes I disagree. Sometimes I agree. Luan, you've got a checkbook. Look at that. Not Luan. Maybe it's just me then. Maybe it's just me. What else are you saying down here? Connor, you're saying you would like Qatar more. They have more options. I don't think Sir Jim can hold the standards. Ayub, yeah, you're asking about that INEOS plant blast. Yep, I covered that earlier. This happened out in Texas today. I think it was literally like an hour ago. But, I mean, no doubt they've got insurance. So no doubt it's not really going to affect them at all. Football boy, how you doing? You're saying, does it trouble you, the possibility of Old Trafford being torn down to make room for a new stadium? Does that bother you or make you excited? Football boy, my opinion on that is, I think Old Trafford has been left in disrepair for so long that they will struggle to refurbish it. That's what my spidey senses are saying. If you're looking at the Bernabeu and what's going on there right now, right, and the new camp too, they're keeping the facade of it. They're being able to redevelop it, X, Y, Z, while still playing there. Obviously, Real Madrid played at their training ground, I think, for a little while. I don't know whether that's possible at Manchester United. Like, every single part of that stadium needs to be gutted. We're not just talking about a new pitch. We're not just talking about new concourses, new seats, new everything, new roof. The whole thing needs to be refurbished. So I don't know whether it's actually physically possible. And it may be devastating to see Old Trafford go. I just don't know whether it's been left in disrepair for that long that the scale of that operation will make it almost impossible to refurbish while staying there. You're saying, what's your opinion on multi-use stadiums like the Spurs Stadium in NFL? It's likely going to happen if they build a new one. Yeah, I think it's very smart. Of course it is. I think the Spurs Stadium is incredible. Of all the new look stadiums, I think the Spurs one that looks ace. Really, really does. I've entered the Spurs ballot. I got rejected in the Nottingham Forest ballot. I hope I get success in the Spurs ballot. Let's go there. But yeah, if you're going to make it sustainable and you can generate income from other areas, then hell yeah, do that. I think it's a smart thing. What else are you saying down here? Right, what we got down here? Sky Cavi Solihol. Sheikh Jassim remains confident and fully engaged in his bid. The next move is up to the Glazer family and their advisors. There won't be an immediate response to the bids. Waiting game until next week. Well, maybe we have got that waiting game. Who's down here? Alex, how dare you join in this late? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm joking, dude. What he's saying here. Hopefully it's built on the same land. Charlie, you say, and there's parts of the current stadium we can keep. Look, that's a conversation for, in my opinion, I'd rather new owners put all their efforts into building a brand new Carrington before we look at conversations about building a brand new Old Trafford. I've said this before so many times. What do the players spend 90% of their time in? The training ground. That's where teams are built. We need to update all of that before we update the stadium. It's also a smaller job. The project would be much smaller. I don't even know what would happen at Old Trafford. Like, there's no stadium that we could share with. Nowhere we could really move to. I have no idea. But I'd rather that we sorted Carrington before we sorted Old Trafford. But to finish up this show, we've got confirmation here of Sir Jim Ratcliffe putting a bid in, and reports are saying north of 5 billion. The second Qatari bid has also gone in. This is a big, significant step and day in the sale of Manchester United. Now, it's a waiting game, right? We should expect to hear something within the next week. There's a comment there from 54 Donkey saying you're going to get Ben back on for round 6. I'm definitely going to be getting Ben back on. We need to speak about this. I want to know what's being said about whether the third round of bidding is expected or because we don't know the structures of these bids. Maybe the bids are the same, 5 billion, but maybe the Qatari bid has the debt on top, whereas the INEOS bid includes that. No idea. Yeah, right. Let me see what it's saying down here. Any word in Dubai, says Connor. Remember the Dubai situation? We spoke about that at the very start. They were the first Middle Eastern state we were linked with. And then it's just kind of all gone quiet on the Western Front. Really, really quiet. Ibrahim, how you doing, buddy? You say, love the channel. Imagine we win all of our games in April and the Glazers are out. Dreams do come true. Man, if we win all those games in April, have you seen our games in April? We've got Newcastle away, then Brentford at home, and then Everton. That's in the space of 5 days. And we've got Sevilla home and away. We've got Spurs in there. We've got Brighton in the FA Cup semi. And Villa. I might have just remembered all the fixtures there. Jeez. Go me. But look, I'm going to wrap up this show tonight because I can't really speak. I don't know what's going wrong with me, man. Why am I getting so much lurgy? Maybe I have got COVID. Should probably do a COVID test. Is COVID still a thing? Anyway, big up to all of you for joining in. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this conversation. This is a conversation I've been wanting for so long about new owners of Manchester United, and here we are having it. Big up to all of you who tuned in. Thank you for all the support. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'll be back here in just over 12 hours, 10 a.m. with the live show. I'll cover all the updates. Big up to all of you. What a community, and what a time to be a United fan. As long as the Glazers leave properly.